How a movie that fits together two genres which absolutely should not work together actually managed to do this will never fail to amaze me. There's a line from Ben 10, Ultimate Alien, that I like to think about from time to time, mostly in regards to movies released in the West as of recently.
My feats are legendary.
So are mine.
But mine have stood the test of time. Mine have inspired millions. What will your legacy be?
A brief flicker without a legacy, where before these were epics that could forge an entire universe on their own. None more is this applicable to than Predator, an icon of cinema blending together two different genres, action and slasher, which, as said earlier, shouldn't work together. One is all about invincible heroes blasting their way through waves of bad guys as an unstoppable tank of absolute victory. And the other is the complete helplessness of the hunted by an unseen and unstoppable killing machine. One is the ultimate power fantasy, and the other is a hopeless nightmare. And somehow managing to merge the two of these in a movie where Mr. Universe gets ragdolled being believable takes a genuine degree of talent that we just simply don't have these days. After all, movies about a spec ops team of mercs versus an alien is the stuff B-movie schlock is absolutely made out of. But John McTiernan somehow turned that into a masterpiece through bold risks, exceptional casting, and solid writing, giving us one of the most unique sci-fi stories ever told, spawning more movies, comics, video games, and even crossovers with its more immediately successful siblings, Terminator and especially Alien. And despite it featuring a number of horror-esque elements, I wouldn't go so far as to say that I think that this is truly a horror film or action horror. I'd actually say Pokemon Destiny Deoxys is more of a classically styled horror film than Predator. But if you disagree, comment below why. Subscribe to Roast Me Moron in the comments, and while you're down there, leave a like, since otherwise, you don't matter to YouTube. I mean, you matter to me, it's just, you won't to YouTube. Speaking of legacies, despite Predator's legacy and reputation by far preceding it, it is also a very easily misunderstood film as of lately, both by the spoofs it has inspired, as well as the very series it spawned itself. A large part of this does stem from how looked down upon action films of this era are today. And since Gigadad sends me a Predator comic every year on Christmas, this is a Merry Kaiju Crushmas video special. So, at risk of this becoming yet another mediocre movie review channel, let's get right into the movie. Optimus Prime and the Predator drop off our heroes sent in to rescue a cabinet minister from a local government. In reality, they're there to wipe out a group of communists, using some of the greatest military firepower the United States can muster up. A glorious M134 minigun, handheld, first time a weapon like this ever appeared in film, and would later appear in Terminator 2, the standard M16s, a custom M37 pyrotechnic discharger grenade launcher, and the standard MP5s, even though they're actually HK-94s, they're MP5s in spirit. Then, the Predator enters the arena. He fails to stop the worst Predator movie from ever being made, and blows a hole the size of Minnesota in its future governor. Takes right hook off Apollo Creed, and gives Max Head some nice ventilation, whittling everyone down until it's just him and Arnie. After beating the T-800 down with his bare hands, he gets crushed by a log like an absolute nerd. So, why did earlier I said that this movie is misunderstood? Part of that comes from the tendency of action movies to get a bad reputation. Poor writing, buckets of cheese, and gratuitously over-the-top action, something that is not helped by this movie packing some of the biggest names of that era for those kinds of movies. Meanwhile, Predator itself is actually fairly well written. A lot of its things it sets up, it follows through on and concludes. It sets up the Predator very well, showing hints of what it actually is throughout, not even just with the vision, but with Billy's comments about how strange every single one of the encounters they find with it is. The firing in all directions, there's no tracks in any way, and the bizarre thing of everyone being skinned and hung from the trees. All of it is followed through on, and unfortunately the frequently mistaken stoicism as being emotionlessness. Now that's in regards to the movie as a whole in terms of action movie context, but as for the series itself, they also make a number of misunderstandings about this movie, and most of that is the actual main punch of why the Predator is so imposing. It isn't just throwing around Arnold Schwarzenegger like he's a T-800 action figure. It's that we are shown slowly and methodically it dismantling this elite Spec Ops group. One, that the movie itself wastes absolutely no time in demonstrating the competence and capabilities of the raw firepower they are carrying, how easily they dismantle the guerrillas' camp in armed combat, and physical strength when setting up the traps and carrying their own gear, to say nothing of the fact that not only are Arnie, Carl Weathers, Jesse Ventura, Anthony Landon all built like freaking fridges, but the sheer ease at which the Predator does each of its takedowns with. By making the characters feel powerful, it makes the Predator feel even more powerful in a very believable way. This is something that none of the other movies ever really do. Actually, none of the other movies actually do this. And this is why I don't really consider this movie to be a horror movie. It lacks one of the crucial elements of that, which is the true helplessness. Yes, it's more of a slasher movie in that each of the characters is picked off one by one, but despite everyone being on edge, none of them are really freaking out. They're unnerved, but it's more subdued. The closest you really get is Billy saying he's scared because whatever's out there isn't human.
I'm scared, Fletcher.
Bullshit. You ain't afraid of no man.
There's something out there that ain't no man. But all of them remain calm and collected, confident justifiably in their firepower. Neon be proud. And the film absolutely delivers on this, even against the Predator, since we are shown the Predator actually getting wounded by their weapons. It shows they genuinely stand a chance against it, and that it's not just some generically unstoppable monster they can only run from, which is all the more carried out by the fact that they're not actually running from the Predator for a majority of the movie. They're on the move from the guerrillas and keeping ahead of them. The jungle hunter is just following them, and is relatively uninvolved for most of the movie, just passively observing, and really his presence just seems to remind us that he's here, which is something that is an enormous risk on a movie like this. You show the monster too early and you blow all the suspense. You show it too late and people are just uninterested. But that isn't the case here. And the biggest risk of all of these was actually showing the Predator being wounded. Most of these monsters are terrifying because weapons either do absolutely nothing to them, or characters don't have weapons to begin with, being that you are fighting supernatural monsters like, say, Freddy Krueger or Jason Voorhees, or there's something more like the Alien or the T-800, where you just simply can't get a hold of weapons or they are once again useless. Here, the weapons are actually useful. So much so, the Predator needs to perform medical surgery on itself to remove the bullet and close the wound up, showing it is just as much a flesh and blood creature as they are, but also one that is very intelligent, not just a mindless killing machine. In an era where most of these monsters were relatively flat, relentless hunters, it makes the Predator a true standout, and all the more mysterious, ironically, by showing more of it, directly contrary to the conventional creature wisdom. Really, the worst thing I can say about this movie's writing is that Pancho feels like he's just there to be dead weight towards the end before he's immediately killed off after Billy, and was there just to slow the characters down so the jungle hunter could catch up, which it never had any trouble with doing before. And the aforementioned Predator blood on Anne's pants. overall, I'd say this movie is a solid 5 skulls out of 5. A true, genuine masterpiece with great action, pretty good effects for the time, and honestly, even today, I think the cloaking effect are still better than most of what we have today. Solid character writing, even as minimal as they are, characters are always there just to be in service of the story, of which these go above and beyond. If you guys haven't done so already, don't forget to comment your thoughts below. What do you like about the movie? What issues do you have with it? Do you think I was fair to it? Do you think there were some things I should have missed and gone over a bit more? And what would you like to see me do next time? I am actually really looking forward to covering more of these movies because I do love Alien and Predator and have kind of been wanting to talk more about them. So what we're going to be doing next time, don't quite know yet. Let me know what you want to see, but I do look forward to at some point in the future covering Predator 2, which I kind of like a bit more than Predator 1, as much as I think someone's going to want to come from my head for that. But I've been Max Allo. Long live the Kaiju King, have a Merry Kaiju Crushmas, and a Happy New Year.